Awesome. So I do see some projects already submitted, which is great. But again, with these projects, the way that they operate is that the files that you're going to need for them are located in the content. So if you go to projects and then project 1, select here, your manual is up here with the PDF. I'm going to go ahead and download it and open it up. And I usually don't go too in depth with these projects because if you read through them, they do a pretty decent job of explaining what you'll need to do. And it goes pretty in depth with how to get to the areas as well. As you can see here, what you're going to be doing in this project is fixing up an older image using the various tools that we just talked about in the lecture. As you can see here, if we scroll down a bit more as well, there's the content aware patch, which is what we used earlier with the with the horse and the patch tool, where I move the grass over the horses. And of course, the clone stamp tool can be used to fix it up as well. I won't need to read through all of this as as it is a bit much, but again, the sharpening of the image is in there as well, which is what we covered earlier too. So now, how do you get started on this project? Well, all you will need to do here is after you have this manual opened up, you will just go ahead and go back to the main course page. Inside of content, there will be a folder here called student files for class projects and capstone projects. If you select that folder here, there's a few more subfolders. There's an optional project for and assets for a capstone project. But the one that you want to look at is the initial files for project assignments. If you open up that, you see that the projects are broken down. And then inside of project 1, you see the 02start.tiff. I'm going to go ahead and download that. And then from there, you will just need to follow the instructions of the manual that are given here. So getting started right here, you'll be able to find here, he tells us to open up the TIFF file. So what I'm going to do, using my own way of it, I'm just going to go to File, Open. I download it, so it's in my Downloads folder. There's my 02start. I can see that the type of it is TIFF. I can open this up. And there you go. Now I have my project open. And then after this project is open, I can go ahead and take a look at the manual one more time and see what they want us to do. We have to crop and straighten up the image. So just per the rules here, you can go ahead and select the crop tool, which we already know is the C tool here. And then he would like us to, let's see here, to fit the picture without white borders. So I'm pretty much just going to try my best here, drag my crop tool across the image. Seems like I'm grabbing some white borders here, but it's fine for right now. And now, one more thing that I didn't mention here while we were working with the cows is that if you are cropping with the crop tool, you'll notice that you can always expand and resize the size of the image, or excuse me, the area that you want to crop. But if you hover over the corners, you'll notice that we kind of get this angled, arrow piece. And what this means is it essentially twists what you're cropping. So I'm going to go ahead and twist this so that it's pretty even, because if everyone sees the photo is kind of on its side, I'm going to twist it a bit. Doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, but just good enough. There we go. It seems like I'm kind of inside the photo with no white borders. I'm going to hit accept. And now you'll notice that it automatically shifted my border, or excuse me, it rotated it to be straight as well. Great. And now from here, the project manual with this portion here, of course I won't go through everything as that's your guys' work, but essentially you'll be trying to go for these results, and at the very bottom of the manual is always the final product. So at the very end of each instruction manual, you'll see the final product that you will need to use. So as you can see from there, you can go ahead and double check and see how yours is coming along. But as I would think, just go through each of these rules step by step. These manuals are very well made and they go in depth with them, but feel free to ask me any questions on it as well. But that's the cropping portion there. And after you get through the cropping, you can go ahead and go on to the next steps where you use the various healing and cloning tools to help get the expected result that we want. Awesome.